What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Build My Brand podcast. Today you have your hosts, Shelton Powell and
Mario
Mubarak. A lot on the agenda today. I feel like we haven't recorded in a while.
Yeah, it's been like 2-3 weeks, huh? I'm trying to find a sick setup for this.
We still have a shit ton of content though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, basically, they just released news. I think the offer, like the deal, was offered today.
For what?
Kylian Mbappe.
Oh yeah. What is it, like 776 million?
I think 736. And then they owe money to PSG for the transfer fees and stuff like that. So
776, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
is the salary, which is bigger than the top 15 highest paid NBA players combined at 722.
yeah, that's crazy.
Career prize, what is it? The 2023 earnings of every running back on an active NFL roster. It's bigger than that.
But that's another thing too. So basically, like, there's been a lot of issues like in the football community, just because they're basically saying that the running back position is one of the most important positions in football.
Yeah.
And they're heavily underpaid. And a large majority of the stars, like, first of all, to be a running back, you have to be probably one of the most athletics and like diverse type of players on the field. Like, you have to be able to catch the ball, you have to be able to run downfield, make a play, but then you also have to have the body size, the speed, and be quick enough to obviously complete those plays. Yeah, hit the right plays, hit the holes, and like I said, like, get downfield and catch the balls, and like, they're not getting paid.
I think wide receivers, QBs, and running backs should be arguably the highest paid on a NFL roster for sure.
Yeah,
They should probably be third though. But I think QB number one for sure,
100%.
then wide receiver second, then running back. What do you think?
I mean, it's debatable though, because you also have defense.
Yeah, like, but I don't know too much about football. Like, obviously defense is important, but like, you get the highlights and like, people come to watch offense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying what sells tickets. It's
Yeah, for sure.
It's offense. So basically, how you look at it is, like, for example, OBJ sells like mad tickets because everyone focuses on.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone comes to literally see OBJ a lot of times.
Yeah.
So firstly, people come to see Tom Brady. So, like, for example, for QBs, so QBs should be paid the most because they're more likely to bring in someone to watch the game. And
and they're also the leader of like the offense, right? They're the first person that touches, well, not the first person, the second person that touches the ball in every play.
Yeah.
But they're one person that has to make a play every single play.
Yeah. And then I'd say the wide receivers, then I'd say running back. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree.
I think it's debatable between the receivers and the running backs, just because like they're equally as important. But the thing is, at the end of the day, like, I feel like running backs are more often put in a position where they could get injured.
Yeah.
And, they're always putting their body through so much, like, they're putting their bodies through so much, and especially like the training and everything on top of that, like, for running backs, like, they're getting hit on every single play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just crazy, obviously, like, pulling out those stats and then seeing that, one soccer player is getting offered that sort of contract, and then we look at, all the other sports and what people are getting paid. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because it comes down to the same thing as like that argument between like the WNBA and the NBA, right?
So what sells tickets?
Yeah. But not only that, like, who has the money to pay them?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
So do you agree? Like, I know there's a lot of debate of like, remember I even wrote an essay about it, I think in 10th grade. It's like, is it justified that athletes get paid this much, let alone 776 million? Like, do you think he's worth it?
I mean,
one person should get that amount.
I mean, when you look at what money actually is, I don't really think it makes a difference or it matters. The reason I'm gonna say that is because it's like almost the equivalent of saying like, oh, do you think the person that owns this business should get paid this much money? Almost the equivalent, you know what I mean? But it's like, if they're the one going out and generating those ticket sales, and like they're the one bringing those eyes, then of course.
Yeah, that's how I see it too.
Same thing on YouTube, bro. It's like, do you think people that make YouTube videos should get paid the amount of money that they get paid? But at the end of the day, if Google's making money off of, their following,
that creator,
so when you really look at it, like, somebody's gonna make money off of it, right? And if it's not the player, obviously it's the team, right? So it's like, there's many different ways to look at it, but in my opinion, I feel like they just try to compare the salary of like, let's say a regular like government worker to like an NFL player, a soccer player, whatever. And it just doesn't compare given the fact that that's something that's scalable.
And you're not making anyone money.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I agree. I think my argument was it is worth it, but I think I said to an extent, so I didn't fully say yes at the time. Now I would fully say yes, just because of the workload for an athlete, like leaving their family all year.
Yeah.
And understanding the business aspect of it, of like Curry brings in so much money for Golden State. Before Curry, yeah, the Warriors were relevant, but they were not selling out tickets every single match, you know?
Not only that, like the impact that these players have on the community, on players, like they're influencers, right? So, like they definitely have an impact on like the sports that they play forever. Like you see Curry starts hitting threes, and all the kids that are playing ball wants to start shooting half facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like obviously like that sort of like inspiration comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And imagine you're that person and like you're not getting value from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And like it's weird too, because you could argue like, oh, artists, do you think artists should make the amount of money they're making? But it's like if they're putting out content,
Spotify's making money from that, so then they get a chunk of that.
exactly.
So yeah, understanding the business aspect now, it definitely makes sense, and I see why they get paid that much.
Yeah.
And do they deserve it? Sure. Is it earned? Sure. But just understanding the business aspect of it, like there's nothing I can argue against.
Yeah. I don't know how you grade like what is deserved and what's not though. Because in my opinion, it's like once you reach a certain scale with what you're doing, I don't really think it's a matter anymore of like what you deserve, because like you could see 100 mil as a lot, or you could see 200 mil as a lot, but like in my opinion, it's kind of all the same thing. You know, whether it's like obviously like this is the biggest contract and it's like a fuck ton of money that's been unheard of. Yeah. But then it's like the same people are also signing like deals with Nike that are worth like the same amount. You know what I mean? So like how do you evaluate like what do you deserve or what do you not deserve?
They have no clue. I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to the business aspect.
Yeah. But this is beneficial though to like every other sport.
Oh yeah, 100%. So many people are tweeting out like, oh, this guy earned this much. I'm sure when contracts start getting negotiated next summer for like, these big football players as well, or soccer players. Like I don't know whose contract's up next year. I think Haaland, he's a huge player as well.
Yeah.
He's up next year or the year after. He could probably be in that ballpark as well.
But it's kind of like Shakes was saying though for football. It's like you see, okay, this player is now the highest paid athlete, and then another one, whenever he signs a new contract, he wants to be the highest paid athlete. It basically just raises the bar for everybody. So it's like inflation within the sport.
Exactly. I think Jaylen Brown's due to get paid this summer. I think it was like a $500 million contract. If I'm not, no, it's like 400 something or 300 something. I know he'll be by far the highest paid player. I think it's around like 60, 70 mil a year. Yeah. Which the one under that I think is at like mid 50s, if I'm not mistaken. And just to give context, I think LeBron's in like high 40s, Curry's in almost 50, Harden's at 50. Yeah. So like, obviously Jaylen Brown is not as impactful, all these players, but like you said, it's like the inflation of the sport. So exactly. And once contracts are due next year, those top guys can request that money, if not more. Exactly. So yeah, it's healthy competition, I think. For sure. So I think moving forward, another thing that recently just got released is, well, I guess Elon Musk is hinting at changing the Twitter logo to X. I think he changed it. He already changed it? Yeah, but I was reading, so pretty much, I don't know if Elon still has influence with Twitter, because he gave it away to the, it was a lady, I forgot her name. Yeah, but that's just a CEO position. Yeah. Like he's still a majority shareholder. Okay. Oh yeah, I mean, he owns the whole thing pretty much. Oh yeah, sure. Like 50%. I don't know about the whole thing. Yeah. Microsoft owns the trademark for X, so I saw that. Interesting. It's very interesting. So I don't know if he could change it to X, but I saw that they were making updates, and apparently people sending screenshot in a group chat I'm in of the logo already changing from the bird, like the Twitter bird, to X. But yeah, it's very interesting. Or like, do you think it's beneficial to those other companies? Yeah, so I follow Elon Musk a lot, so I know everything happening. So pretty much someone suggested doing like X holding. So literally calling it an X holding and creating an ETF for Twitter, Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, and I mean his other ventures like something solar, whatever. Neuralink. Neuralink as well. So someone said like you should create an ETF called X and just put them all together for people to buy in. And he just answered interesting.
Yeah.
This was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then now he's changing that to X, and it's going to be powered by AI, like a bunch of the feed and stuff.
What do you mean?
I have no clue. I didn't read into it, but that's what the CEO was talking about. And so I think this is very beneficial for Tesla shareholders, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that AI powered and the data they get from Twitter is very, like the whole thing about AI is just as much data as you can compute.
Yeah.
So collecting as much data from their Tesla FSD plus this, they have access to, I don't know how many users, maybe 500 million users data. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about it too is like I feel as if a lot of people were like, oh, he was stupid making the jump into Twitter, and obviously
Paying 44 billion.
yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't there an issue where like he was trying to opt out of the deal and he was like forced back into it?
Yeah, I think there was drama, but I think it was issues with the bank because they weren't giving him a loan and stuff. So he had to sell Tesla stock, and I mean, he figured it out at the end of the day, and he ended up getting a loan from the bank as well. But
Yeah.
also, I saw something that was interesting. So are tweets still going to be called tweets?
Or this is
Yeah, exactly. It's not Twitter anymore.
yeah. Well, is it not still Twitter, but it's just X?
No, I think it's fully changing it to X. Like
Oh.
the thing's going to be called X.
Oh, so that's why there's the issue with Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they own the domain or some shit.
Yeah. That's odd. And then obviously, like, they just dropped Instagram threads too.
Yeah, so I mean that popped off, but I think users are down like 60 or 70% this past.
Bro, I don't think it's gonna make as much of an impact as
Yeah,
like they thought.
I think it was all hype.
I think, bro, it's gonna be equivalent to like Ask.fm. I don't know.
I think just because it's Meta owned, it might survive, but just because WhatsApp, Instagram, everything like from Facebook survived,
Yeah.
I think they should do a few tweaks and probably pay creators on there.
Yeah. What?
Intensify people to go on that app, because I know Twitter's doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that they already released that. I think.
Did they? Probably not.
Yeah, probably in the US, because I heard the other day somebody was talking about they showed like a 6-figure payout from Twitter.
No way.
Yeah.
6 figures? That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that stuff's obviously interesting. And obviously, like with the way life is moving, like everything's getting monetized.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know. The way I see Threads, I think that if there's gonna be a new social media platform, I think the thing that they did that was good is that it's connected to Instagram. So when you log into there, it pulls all your Instagram data and you're able to follow everybody, even if they don't have a profile on Threads yet.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is that it's not creative enough in terms of like its functionality, right? Like typically, as far as like what I've seen, is that they do this with a lot of different things. Like there's like all-in-one softwares for different things. But then there's also the softwares that specialize in it, right? And just as far as what I've seen, like everybody that focuses on like their one software, their one app, it tends to be better than anybody that's going to do an all-in-one, because their focus is only put into one like platform.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I mean, what ended up being the best like video platform? It was YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And then who has the best short form content? It's TikTok.
It's TikTok. Then they tried doing shorts and then IG Reels, but TikTok is still definitely on top.
Exactly. And then who's the best stories for stories and
Snapchat.
posts? Yeah, so stories, Snapchat, and then posts is Instagram.
Yeah.
So and then even when Instagram implemented the story part, it's still amazing, but Snapchat's still being used because it's known for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you that you should just focus on what you're good at. But I mean, I understand the aspect of it to stay competitive.
100%.
But
I still really do like Instagram stories, though. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I think that's the one thing that actually kind of competes. I think it picked up a lot when they implemented that. But then the thing is, they added stories, if I'm not mistaken, on TikTok as well.
yeah, I think they did.
So even on WhatsApp, bro.
Yeah, WhatsApp did too. But I mean, I don't use anything like Snapchat. I don't use.
Yeah.
WhatsApp. I chat with a few people, but I don't use the stories.
Where are they from?
What?
The people you chat to.
For you, for my aunt. So immigrants, literally you, because I'm on my PC, and then immigrants. What else? And then I don't use TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on. Well, I mean, bro, TikTok is like one of those. Like, I just press it because the thing is, I would get hit with a lot of different products, like video ads and like all these different like UGC pages and stuff like that. So I'd use it. It was literally my whole feed. It's just crazy.
Dropshipping.
Yeah, which I think could kind of.
I mean, it helped us out.
Yeah,
Sure.
But I think that'll kind of like lead us into like our next topic, right? Is in terms of dropshipping, obviously, like there's a lot of people that are still at a point where like they're struggling, they can't find a winning product, they have a hard time getting a store to pop off. And I realized like, especially the way that we can leverage social media platforms nowadays, like the way the algorithms work and everything, and it's been a thing for a long time, but on TikTok, the amount of products that I've been getting hit with, like whenever I go on there and I just get pages, send them to a couple media buyers, like I see products, I just send them over to media buyers, like literally after sending like 2 products, my feed for the next like 2-3 days would just be products, right? So like it's literally not all that difficult. And for like people that are struggling to find products, like whether you want to run like a UGC page, whether you want to go out like run paid ads, like literally scroll through TikTok, and every time you get hit with, let's say, a sponsored video ad, send it to somebody, you know, like the video, comment on it, do something, and you'll start to just get hit by organic posts on your page, right? So like that's literally my whole feed. So yeah, so that's one thing. And then 2, for people that don't understand like the creative aspect, like how to make video ads or like what video ads tend to work, well, just scroll through your feed, like search it up, like find videos on there that are currently doing well and study it, right?
You can even rob them.
Exactly. If you really want to use their content, you technically could. I highly don't recommend it long term, which is why like all of our stores, anything that shows any sort of significant volume, like we make the leap to custom content within the first week, as we know. Which was like one thing that, you know, obviously we didn't do for the longest time, but we built out a system to pretty much have custom content released for every page within, you know, a 5 to 7 day time frame. We're looking for about 3 or 5 new creatives that we're testing every single week. So with that being said, as long as you guys could like actually study this and leverage these platforms, because the thing is, a lot of us dropshippers right now, a lot of people in the community, we didn't have access to those sorts of things. You know what I mean? Like all we could really do is like search up on Facebook, you know, keywords, get 50% off today, and we would see some video ads. But the quality back then, in terms of, well, the quality and how competitive it was back then was like terrible, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like I was making my own video ads and they were like 10 times better than anything on the market, which is why pretty much any product that I launched showed significant, you know, winning potential in comparison to competitors. And like, you know, people were stealing my videos with like, with watermarks on it. So like literally the videos have my domain marked on it and they would steal it and they would repost it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you got more traffic from them, low-key.
I mean, could be, I don't know. Like it's difficult though, because the thing is, from a consumer standpoint, they're not necessarily as smart as us advertisers. Yeah. In terms of like how they're shopping, right? So like if they see a video ad with like a watermark on it, they can't tell the difference between the link that they clicked on and the link in the video, right? So,
did you go stroll through everything and try to take them down, or what?
I don't really care that much, to be honest. Like, in my opinion, like if somebody's doing that, like they probably like to go to the extent of stealing a video that has a watermark. Yeah. If somebody's doing that, like
they're probably beginners for sure.
Yeah.
So they're probably not getting
exactly
significant amount.
So like I'm definitely not worried. You know.
That makes sense. So what would you recommend? I don't know if I should say summer because it's like kind of halfway done. Well, actually 3/4 almost. But I'd say for the fall, what would you recommend as a winning product? Top 3.
So it really depends what you're trying to do, right? Like obviously we have there's like Thanksgiving coming up, and then we obviously have like Halloween and stuff.
Yeah. So Q4 is jam-packed.
Yeah. But
Black Friday,
exactly.
Halloween, Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you want to run a product that's like going to work throughout Halloween, like you could probably start out within the next couple of weeks and start testing. But the thing is, once Halloween hits, like you're probably dead at that. You know what I mean? So what I would do is most likely jump into a little bit more of like the sentimental stuff, like the gifts. And I think that's what's like highly performing as of, you know, the last year or so. Anything that could appeal to emotion a little bit more. Like there was, what was it, last year? I think they're probably still running it, but it's like custom paintings type thing. So there's also that. There's the same type of version with like custom puzzles, where like, let's say you want to market towards people that are in relationships, and you take a picture of, you and your significant other, and then you put it on a puzzle, you put the puzzle together, and then obviously it creates that picture, right?
Oh yeah, that's fresh. I seen it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think we're running that.
Yeah, well, probably. We're running everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, a large majority of that stuff like just tends to work. And then obviously like the jewelry, like any gift that you could just give to a significant other that like shows some sort of emotional value, and could be marketed emotionally, like just tends to work. So I wouldn't even, honestly, I've never really looked into any of the Halloween stuff, right? Because it's just, in my opinion, it's not big enough of a holiday to be scaled, and especially it's not something that's evergreen.
Did you? I think I remember you released a video. Did you test that Squid Game mask for Halloween?
No. We built out a store for somebody that ran it though.
Okay.
And it did pretty well.
Okay.
But
Fresh.
yeah, a lot of the people after that started running it got DMCA'd.
Okay, for sure.
So
It's always like that.
yeah. So on that note, for you, obviously you deal with like a large majority of the fulfillment stuff, customer service, in terms of like operating stores. What kind of tips would you give? One in regards to communicating with like suppliers, because obviously it can be tricky with the language barrier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then two, what do you think are like the most important things to make sure of when you're setting up, fulfillment on a store?
So firstly, you got to look for an app that can optimize everything and make it easier for both yourself and the supplier. So that's one thing I always try to communicate with the supplier, like what's the best app that we can use to make it easier for both lives. Secondly, if I send big paragraphs, I tend to send them in their language, just because if there's a lot of English words, like, I don't know, most of the time they don't understand. I know you.
Yeah.
You can think of what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I tend to send like in their language. I think that helps them out as well. Even though like I try not to be disrespectful, but because I know it could come off like, oh, you're a dumbass, you can't understand English, so let me send it this way. But I try to send it in a nice way.
I think it's some people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Some people think you're rude.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I try to negotiate to bring down the quote of the products here and there once volume ramps up. So let's say after 50 units, I'll try to get it down 20, 30 cents. After 100 to 200 units, I try to get it down another 20, 30 cents. So always constantly negotiating with the suppliers just to try to bring it down the quote.
Yeah.
That helps improve margins on the back end. And that'll let us optimize ads as well. And I mean, that's the three things. So language, the best app to help everyone, and then negotiating down the quotes every single time.
Yeah.
I think those are the three most important things. I don't know if you can remember anything off the top of your head.
I think as far as negotiating the quote, so what kind of helps you do that? Right. I know like one thing's obviously quantity.
Yeah, volume.
So if there's two products going to one address.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. Thanks for reminding me. So I try to also negotiate down the shipping costs. So let's say there's two products headed to one address. I try my best. It doesn't often work, but I try my best to reduce the price just because they're not paying as much shipping since it's going to the same address. So you get to save on that. Yeah, that's a good thing as well. I'm trying to remember. I had something to say, but I forgot.
Cool. I'll probably come back to you. The other thing I want to touch on, obviously, is getting set up with customer service.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people obviously struggle with that, and like finding customer service rep. Like I think we got lucky.
Yeah. We have the GOAT.
Yeah,
We have the fucking
we
GOAT.
definitely work with the GOAT. Shout out Christine. But we definitely got lucky, and here's why. So back like when I initially started, and I made a listing on Upwork, and I checked on all these different freelance platforms to try and find somebody. I obviously fell upon Christine, and I think she was like the first person that I actually even spoke with. Or there was a couple others, but like nobody was really showing any sort of like significant competence.
Yeah.
I guess I could say. And I've definitely worked with a couple other reps, but there's been nobody that compares to like the type of quality of work that she puts out.
Yeah.
So obviously like a big thanks to her. And it's honestly just difficult too, because there's a lot of people that could do what she does, but not at the same level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you're hiring a rep, like, it's easy to go wrong because you won't realize until the person actually starts working.
Exactly. And then that's when, I mean, the most mistake come when there's volume, right? So
Yeah.
let's say 2-3 months down the road, you already trained her on everything, and like, not that you're stuck with her or it or him, but yeah. But it's very difficult to adjust while you're scaling.
Yeah.
In comparison to just hiring the go up from the start.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think you got lucky. And I mean, she's in chats of, I don't know, over 40-50 stores.
Yeah.
And handling literally everything from the customer service end. So chargebacks, communication with the client, with the customers that want refunds or have any issues with orders, like anything that arrived broken or didn't arrive or anything.
Yeah.
And she communicates directly from the customer to the supplier. So like on our end, most of the time, we don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
So that's communicated, which, I mean, that frees up a lot of our time to do a lot of different things. And yeah, I mean, since I deal with Christine, the customer service side and the fulfillment side, she makes my life much easier. I mean, here and there I have to communicate myself, but that's if there's a bigger issue, I tend to take the initiative and send it myself. But yeah, I mean, she makes life very easy.
For sure. Yeah, so on that note, I think the last question I kind of have for you is, what is the advantage, you would say, like based off your role, what is the advantage of somebody coming on board and like partnering with our team to work with you, right? And like our customer service team and stuff.
I mean, a lot of clients like message me and ask me a bunch of questions, which often I already have it addressed. So for example, if they can get quotes down, I already like take the initiative and message for that, because I mean, to me, it's a partnership. So we both benefit if we lower the COGS. I mean, we literally handle everything on our end. Clients don't normally do anything unless like they have to set up a new app or something to connect to the store, like an ad account goes down or anything of that sort. That's obviously, it's their account and their credit card information, their billing information, so they have to set that up. But other than that, we literally handle everything in fulfillment. Like I said, bring the quotes down, negotiating with the suppliers. The customer service team handles all the customer issues, so you don't have to, most of the time when the email's connected to customer service, they don't have to answer anything or deal with the headaches. I mean, our media buyers handle the accounts, so they don't even have to pay attention to ads. So literally a do it for you service.
Yeah, you know what the thing is? I feel like what's crazy is like a lot of our clients like are spoiled, like don't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
Because obviously they haven't worked anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't realize. And you know, at the end of the day, like you're gonna have certain people that aren't happy.
Yeah.
But then you also have your fair share of people that obviously do appreciate. Like we have clients that send us a message like every Friday or every Saturday, like have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Stay blessed, y'all. Like stuff like that. And like for me, it's like the way I see that is like, you know, this client understands and like appreciates what we're doing. And at the end of the day, like we go out and we put in so much effort into making sure that their accounts are consistently active.
Yeah.
That their products are getting fulfilled on time, that chargebacks are handled.
Yeah.
That you know, if they're having a hard time reaching profitability, that we're waiving fees.
Yeah.
Right. So we definitely go like above and beyond for a large majority of the clients. And obviously there's a couple other clients that are like a little bit difficult to please. So no matter what we do, like they're just never happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly think like moving forward, we should probably definitely like build out a system that really puts it out there and like displays the amount of things that we have to do, because a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of it. And for the people that are also trying to learn, maybe growing their own agency, growing their own business, their own e-commerce store, like they'll actually be able to see hands-on exactly what we're doing. Like, you know, once we probably like all get into the same crib together, all start working together in the same place, like just recording content in-house and really just putting together a lot of stuff to really show the public and show everybody like what we have going on and what it really takes to operate at the scale that we've operated at. And then obviously, you know, right now we've been slow for a couple months and just getting back up to where we were as far as onboarding and everything. And then how we maintain that scale and provide everybody with the same type of quality service.
Because I think what differentiates like us and let's say, I don't want to, like, I guess this very successful people is that they consistently, like, it's just all about consistency. So like they're generating, let's say $500,000 or $1 million a month.
Yeah.
And they've been doing that for a long ass time.
Like 10 years.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
10 years type shit. Even like, I want to say 12 months. Like if we can do that for 12 months, like that'll change so many lives.
Exactly.
But obviously I know it's a process and everything.
Yeah.
So we got to stay patient with everything. But I mean, I definitely think that's possible from, let's say Q4 this year to literally like continuing all through 2024.
Yeah.
Especially when we're all together grinding in the crib.
Yeah.
That's going to be very sick.
For sure. What are we at as far as time?
30 minutes.
Well,
I think there's one more topic. Let's see. There's story time.
Story time. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, let's get into the story time. You want to start? I know you had one.
Yeah, I kind of have a boring ass life. I have one. Literally, it's not even that crazy of a story, but I almost got kidnapped. Well, me and my brother. No, it was mostly my brother. So
Shout out Mark.
so pretty much, I think he was like 6 and I was 9, something like that. Maybe 10 and 7, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were playing basketball outside. I have a basketball net outside my house. We were just playing 1v1. And my parents were at the neighbors down the street. Like they're probably like a 1 to 2 minute walk away. So we were home alone. So then we're just 1v1ing. I'm beating the shit out of them at basketball. And then a car pulls up, like a brokey car.
Okay.
So I don't want to say I'm a genius at 9, because I'm not. But like for a 9-year-old, what I did was pretty intelligent. So the guy opens his window and then just throws down a piece of shit phone. And then he tells my brother, pick it up. Like we're on the driveway playing and he's just like outside, like
Yeah.
he's probably like 5 steps away. He's like, pick it up. Then my brother goes to pick it up, but he doesn't know any better. Then I'm like, Mark, don't touch it. And then he's like, and then the guys just look at me like, are you weird? And then he's like, pick it up. Then I'm like, yo, Mark, come here. And then we start running away.
Yeah.
And then the guy like acts weirded out, opens his door, but like out of frustration, picks up the phone and then just drives by towards our direction. We're running to the neighbors. And then he ended up turning away, like he knew he was done. And then he just stole.
Bro, the thing is, like, he's gonna kidnap you and do what? Like, sell Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. But he called my parents, say, if you want him back, you got to give him milk.
A ransom?
Yeah. But yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, we were like, I think I was under 10. But that was when we recently moved into Orleans. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just a funny experience looking back at it.
No.
But yeah, nothing serious. Like, I didn't have any weapon on him or anything. It was just funny.
Yeah, for me, story time. I mean, I don't know any real life stories. Like they have to come up, obviously. Like,
Do you have any at school? I know you're kind of a troublemaker.
there's a couple. I don't know what's significant. Oh, okay. You know what?
And you said didn't say Chris. You don't say that?
Nah, not even
That
that.
makes you look some shit.
To be honest, I don't care. I actually posted on social media one day.
Yeah, well,
Let's see. Well,
shout out Matthew. Sending in results.
shut up, Matthew. But to be honest, not even at school. I think. Did I ever tell the story about the? I think I did on camera. Fuck.
Which one? How you beat the shit out of the guy?
No, there was The woman that took a shit in the store when I
Yeah,
was
you
up,
did.
bro.
Yeah, you did.
Um,
Any Five Guys stories?
fat guys.
Five Guys.
Oh. No, okay, yo, there's this one story. So when I worked at Lone Star in the kitchen,
Yeah.
fuck, shouldn't have said the name. When I worked at Bleep in the kitchen. So, anyways, basically it was one of those where it's like they didn't really give us food. Like, you know, like for example, when I was at Five Guys,
And then
you were allowed to get like one free burger every day, like one free burger with fries or like
rightfully so.
yeah, you know. And not only that, it was like, let's say there were too many patties on the grill,
Yeah.
then you would and like you were making a burger, whatever, you had too many patties, you had to take it off because you didn't want to burn it. Like if there was anything extra and there was nobody in the store, you could eat it, right? But when I worked at the restaurant, it was like you would just get 50% off certain things on the menu, and like there was nothing like significant, like you couldn't buy ribs or some shit on the menu, right? So anyways, one day, and mind you, like I'm working like dish, and I'm like making like tortillas and shit like that. And there's this one day, like I go in the kitchen, like would whip up like just a bunch of food. It's like if I know I'm done at 9, at 8:30, just start cooking, drop chicken wings, chimichangas, you know, like
You take it home with you.
yeah, exactly. So we'd pack it up, put it in a box, and then like put it on top of the fridge or something, you know. But what you'd have to do is take out a box outside, and then the box like would have the food in it, and you'd take it outside because you couldn't just walk out with food in your hand. You know what I mean? So basically, I take a box outside, I put it beside the recycling bin, like outside, and I was done in like 5 minutes. Shift is done. I walk outside to go get the food and like go home. Yo, it's gone. So I'm like, what the fuck? There was this guy that I used to work on dish with, bro, and he was just like, mind you, like the people that work dish there, like they work dish like 5 years, 10 years, and like,
Okay.
you know,
So they're tryhards.
they're tryhards, but they're just dickheads.
Yeah.
You know, and like they look like crackheads and shit like that. Like, yo, I go back in the place, I'm cheesed because I'm like, fuck, like my shift's done. I can't go back in the kitchen and make food now because like everybody's watching and whatever. Yo, I walk upstairs, this fat ass is eating my food.
Yo.
But then the thing is, it's one of those situations where I can't say anything.
Yeah.
You know, because
That was you're not gonna say that was my fault.
exactly,
He's gonna snitch on you.
not an interesting story, but story time regardless.
You didn't beef him?
How am I gonna beef him?
No, but like, yeah, you actually can't do shit.
How am I gonna beef him? But yeah, so that shit happened.
Did you treat that guy differently from there?
I treated him differently from the first time I saw him. But what's funny is when I started working at Bell in phone sales, he walked in. No way. Yeah. And he's looking at me like I didn't really recognize him at first. And then after I figured it was him, I was just like, bro, I just want to fuck up his phone plan so badly. Like, yo, it's crazy. And like, yo, not only that, like in phone places, right? Well, this is kind of like another story time. This is a little bit of knowledge for everybody out there. What a lot of our parents tend to not understand is like when you go to a phone store and you're looking for home services and whatever, the consultant's job is not to give you the best price possible. The consultant's job is to give you the best value possible according to what you believe, right? So what happens is you go into these phone places and like they'll see on the other end like how much you're paying for your phone plan. And they could get you a cheaper plan. But then the thing is they could also match your plan with a couple different things, like for example, like an iPad. Right? Like you probably know people that walked into a store, left with the phone and an iPad and said, I got an iPad for free. It's not free. There's a price on it. It's just the difference between the phone plan that you have and the cost and the amount that it costs to have the iPad every single month.
In the price.
Equates to what you're paying right now, right? So if we see you're paying $80 a month, but we can get you a phone plan for $60 a month, and the iPad costs $20 a month, we'll just tell you it's $80 a month for the iPad and the phone. Basically, get a free iPad.
People in the States are probably going off like, what do you mean $80? It's probably
Well, actually, no. I pay for my American phone number. I pay $50 a month.
Oh, okay. Isn't it like not cheap there? Like $20 a month is the typical plan, or $30?
No, it's like it's some between like $40, $50 a month.
Oh, really?
It depends what you get though. But like
With tab? Like, let's say when you get a new iPhone, is it including tab?
no, like I didn't get a phone from them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
that's
but it
weird.
depends where you go though.
Okay.
right? And it depends what your phone plan is. Like I have unlimited text, talk, and data in all of North America.
Unlimited data?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, that's why I just kept it.
For $50.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, bro, like if you look at my data, like I use like 300 gigs a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Why'd you even get Wi-Fi in your crib?
that's the catch. Like the hotspot, first of all, I didn't have a hotspot on my plan.
Okay.
They added it last year. Like one day I got a message like, oh, you have 3 gigs of hotspot now.
Oh, okay. So
But
you
again,
can't put
it's
it on.
only 3 gigs.
Yeah, you can't put it on your PC.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's like the downside to it, but nevertheless, it's worth it,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So, yeah, but that's about it from my end. A little bit of a shorter pod today, but I think quick, straight to the point. And obviously, we just want to hop on and be able to provide you guys with like tips and tricks, obviously on like the business insight, a little bit of news on like what's going on in the world, our thoughts on everything.
We have a pretty big guest next week.
Yeah, we're looking to bring on a pretty big guest here soon. Just trying to work out, the dates and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But aside from that, what pod is this?
11 or 10th or 11th.
Somewhere around that. Anyways, if you guys made it to the end of the podcast, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, letting us know what you want to see next. And I mean, with that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next podcast.
Peace out.
Peace.